And welcome back everybody to City Skylines with Splat. Now you may be wondering why we're sitting here looking at our trade school that is kind of small and underdeveloped, and that's because we have a trade school that is kind of small and underdeveloped. We've been putting in a lot of residential areas, and one of the things that we did in our last episode was we built Mount Olympus, which is a very high, ritzy, fancy mountaintop residential area that we were hoping to have a special theme on that would create some really spectacular skyscrapers and fancy buildings. But the problem is that all of these skyscrapers and fancy buildings are not there yet because we can't get everybody to upgrade. Everybody's asking for more education options. I went and I looked through all of my education statistics to see where we were at, and it seems like for elementary schools and for high schools, we are all set. We've got plenty of coverage. It's just a matter of time before people start going there and getting educated. But one thing we don't have enough coverage for is actually our university, and we don't have enough people who are attending. So what I would like to do now is add a few more things to the university because the university has upgraded. Take a look with me and you will see, currently we're going to pause the game because these things have no power because I was doing a little bit of work earlier. So as we can see here, we actually have unlocked a few more things in our trade school. We have unlocked a gymnasium. We have unlocked a cafeteria. We've unlocked this trade school outdoor study area, and we have unlocked a school fountain. I would like to incorporate these things into the bill, and I've taken a little bit of time to look around to see how I want to do this. I've taken the liberty to flatten out some land right here at the front of our university district. And the reason I've done that is because this gymnasium counts as a recreational area. And if you look, you will see that the area of effect is quite large. We are going to be bringing more residential into this area eventually, some more suburban housing, similar to what we did up here in Calypso Hills. So, thinking ahead, I want to put the gymnasium right here across the street from the study hall, just to make it accessible to both areas. And so we're going to plunk that thing down right there. So let's take a look at that and see how that looks. So we've got this one-way road that comes in. People can go to the gymnasium and they can continue on their way. One thing that this does need, I think, is probably a little additional parking, because the gymnasium, I would imagine, is going to be available for more than just the university students. I would think, I know when I was living in the previous town, I used to go to the local university to make use of the gymnasium because they made it available to the public for use. So we're going to put a parking lot in here. We're going to do a little bit more flattening out here. I'd like to put the parking lot in here, and I'm hoping that we can pull it in without it looking too incredibly awkward. So I'm trying to remember where our parking roads were. Let's just pull up our find it here and type in parking and see if we can find the roads that we were using. These are them here. So here's the little service road that gets you into the parking area, and these are the parking lots that we can make use of. So I think I want to try maybe that about the right size for what I want to do. I think that is going to work beautifully. So let's just drop this in. Let's turn off the snapping so we can get it to just go straight across like that. Let's pull out the old Move It mod and drag that down that way just a little bit. And we're going to drag that up a little bit there. And we're going to get one of these little access roads, and we're going to see if we can get that to move in. I think I want it to go farther up. But it just doesn't look quite as odd. Not sure we're really going to get to that point because that just kind of stretches out and looks weird. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. I feel like this I wonder why that's looking that way. Perhaps if we do that, and we come back here and we pull up our parking stuff. What if we went for like a thinner one? Get another thinner one off of that. And we just did 2 thin ones. How does that look? That's a little nicer than what we were dealing with before, I think. And that would allow us to put them on 2 different heights, actually, which would not be a problem. Or I could just, let's just pull it down. There we go. All right, now we want to make sure that they're actually parallel and that they're equal in size. Okay, so now we have our parking lot markings that we can put in here. I did get the snapping tool, which is supposed to help with this quite a bit, and it looks like it is helping a lot. So we're going to pull this one up here. Bammo kabammo. We're going to look for some handicap parking. Like it. We're going to go like so. We're going to put in more parking over here. Control X to unlock. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I see what that does. So we'll do a big one. We'll do a little more handicap parking. Now, why are those hidden? Is it because I need to raise this up a little bit? Or does it need to come? Oh, it needs to come down just a touch so we can see all the markings. Okay, we will do something about that. That's down there. That's down there, and we can leave that one up there. It's okay if they're on different heights, but I do want to lower it down just a little bit so that people don't have to quite fly through the air to get up there. Okay. All right, good. So we've got some parking that's going to be for the gymnasium and for the study hall. And let's decorate this out a little bit with some stuff. I got some more assets here, got some more trees from what we've had before. And I got some really nice ones that I actually like. These things are really kind of neat, and they add a bit of color into what could be a dominated green foliage. And I really like these little maples. And so I think I'm going to dot some of these around. Some different colored ones just to give a bit more of a different vibe in this area. I know it's not like logical. It doesn't make perfect sense that there would be different colored trees here, but I'm just kind of tired of looking at the same thing. And we'll go ahead and drop in. Ooh, do I need to move it mod this to make it look a little bit more balanced? You know, I flattened this all out. I don't know why it did that. How does that look? I've seen worse. All right. I have seen worse. All right. So back to detailing. So let's take some of these bushes and do a little line. And let's put a row of bushes along the side of the building. Maybe even a row of bushes along the parking lot. And another row of bushes over here. So I like the idea of trying to detail things, even though, you know, some people don't see the point of detailing like this because you're never, it's so small that some people are like, why take the time to do it? Because nobody's ever going to see it. They're never going to come back and look at this again. Well, that's because I play the game for me to enjoy, and City Skyline is the perfect game for people like me who have fat thumbs and would love to get into like diorama construction and painting miniatures and all that stuff. But unfortunately, I have the physical artistic talent of a cross-eyed moose, probably even less than that actually. And so what ends up happening is that as much as I would love to learn how to paint, and as much as I would love to learn how to do miniatures and do all that kind of stuff, it ain't gonna happen because I've tried and it's just not something I'm any good at. So what I end up doing is I play games like City Skylines, where I don't necessarily have to have fine motor skills, and it's perfectly fine if I don't, because I can come in here and I can detail and just decorate to my little heart's content, and nobody is ever gonna throw a fit about any of it. And I do it because I like it, and that's what matters to me, is the fact that it makes me happy. And I hope you guys enjoy coming along for the ride when I'm doing this. I started this channel with the whole purpose of social gaming and finding people who enjoy the same content. It's really important to me as a gamer that I do not lose the social connections that I have when that I've developed over the years. So my best friends and I, my wife and I, we all game together. We do games together. I know this is a single player game, but I was kind of hoping that by starting this channel and putting this stuff in a place to make it available to you guys, that I could get people to come along and enjoy the ride with me. And here we go. We now have a neat little decorated gymnasium right across the street from the study hall. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for our university to grow. I like how that parking lot settles in there. I really like the looks of that. It's really quite sharp. All right, so not to get hung up on that anymore, we also have a trade school cafeteria. Now the cafeteria, so this is the dormitories up here, book club here, and we have the study hall over here. So this little triangle here could be a good place to put a cafeteria if we can figure out how to level out the ground so that we don't have to fight with this hill anymore. This looks like a good way to go about it, I think. Okay, so that road like dips down to the unit there. So how big is the cafeteria? Like the cafeteria could go back up in here, and I could bring a road up to it. Let's turn on my slopey slopes here, and let's see if I can get this leveled out to a place where I could bring a road in and build a cafeteria back in here. Okay, we'll do that. Let's grab a little one-way road, and perhaps we could pull. Do I want to pull it off this intersection, or do I want to pull it up the hill, or do I want to pull it from down here and go up, or do I want to pull it from over here? Let's try it from the intersection and see if we can make that work for us. All right, we're gonna have to bring it up. No game, what is happening? Why are you not raising and lowering when I'm using the Move It mod, but nothing is happening. This is very strange. Okay, I have clicked. Page up. All right, not gonna work. Let's do it this way. How about now? There we go. All right, we'll pull that up there a little bit. I'll bring this up to where it's level with, there we go. And then we're going to take the road again, and we're just gonna run it over there. And I think that I forgot to turn off prop anarchy, so we're gonna have to grab the Move It mod. We're just gonna give it a little shake and jiggle, and our cafeteria should fit beautifully right in here. Yeah, that'll work. It's not too bad. In fact, I might even move it over a little bit more. Like that. And we're going to use some walking paths. Let's just grab the walking paths that we have in this area. Do we have some? Yep, there's one right there. And I think we can just drop a walking path that kind of goes up here. Go get rid of that little line, make it a little bit more smooth. I like it, so people can walk down from there to the cafeteria, and then they can walk on the sidewalks over to the tennis courts and the gymnasium and the study hall. So let's do a little bit of decorating here. So like what I was talking about before, where I started this channel because of the social gaming. So as you guys know, the last 2 years really have not been the easiest for everybody. That's kind of an understatement. And it doesn't really matter what your views are on how this is all being handled and everything. The reality is everybody has had struggles with just dealing. It hasn't been too bad for me. The country where I live, I don't actually live in North America. Again, you know, where does Splatt live? It is a secret, but not really a secret. It's just not a big deal. And so we haven't really had some of the issues that some other places have had with lockdowns and things. Like we've been able to kind of stay social and not have it too bad and still see people and do things. But it hasn't been easy, and there's still just that nervousness that people have had. And so online gaming, be that games like City Skylines or just having like games, you know, sessions where we would sit down with friends and play Among Us, or you get like the Jackbox party packs out and things like that, became extraordinarily important to me and my wife and my friends as this whole horrible past 2 years has continued on. I began to see on online forums and things that there were a lot of other people that were struggling kind of in the same way we were, but they didn't have some of the support group that I had because of my like-minded friends and my wife and family, who are all perfectly fine playing online games together. And then we actually made a pretty big effort to try to do it on a regular basis. And so I started this channel with the goal of wanting just to share some of the experience I've had, not to gloat or make other people jealous, but to try to encourage people to perhaps put efforts into getting their own gaming support groups together. And so I would share the games that we play. I would share how we played them together. I put all kinds of cooperative games and all kinds of multiplayer games on as best that I could. And I was just hoping that being able to share that with people would give people some inspiration to play these social games like we had been doing. But then something else dawned on me, that there was a lot of games that I like to play individually, and this is one of them because it was just so cathartic and calming. All the craziness that's going on in the world outside and all of the horrible horror things that you're constantly hearing about, I could jump into City Skylines and I was in my own little world, and I could just build my little dioramas and calm down and chill out and not have to deal with a lot of that stress. And I thought to myself, maybe there's other people that would be able to enjoy this as well, and maybe they could step into the same little gaming world that I have in my own little mind, and that I wouldn't have to be selfish and keep it to myself, but I could bring other people along with the fun that I'm having. And so I decided to start putting City Skylines on my channel, and I'm really glad I did, because I have been enjoying this immensely. I enjoy building and just sharing my ideas with you and all the people who are watching, and I really enjoy hearing back from people in the comments and finding out that other people appreciate the same kind of calming environment that I do. And so all of this long meandering monologue that I just did was to say that I really appreciate all of you who watch these videos, and I really appreciate you guys coming along. I appreciate you commenting and leaving feedback, because this turns this little solo game that I play by myself in my own head, in my own little headspace, into a social endeavor. And that makes me a better person. It makes me, puts me in a better space. And I hope that by sharing this with each other, you guys are having the same experience I have. All right, so we've got our cafeteria all decorated out with some flowers and things on the side. It looks pretty nice. We've got our gymnasium over here that we've gone ahead and decorated out a little bit. I'm thinking about maybe adding even, it's good. And the only thing that we have left now is we have a fountain and we have a study area. Now I had an idea for the fountain. We've got this roundabout here, and I thought that it would be really fun if we could plop this fountain right smack dab in the middle of the roundabout, and then build some stuff around that as kind of a welcome to the school environment. So we're gonna plop, like I said, we're gonna plop that fountain right in the middle. We're gonna turn it so that the cardinal directions match the road coming in and out. That's a nice look. It's gonna fit right in there like so. And then I'm gonna go around and just start decorating this. So we've already got the 4 tall trees, and those are going to be taking up a lot of the real estate. We got the fountain that's tall, so I think the kind of stuff that I want to put in is going to be shorter stuff. And I've got these things here. I really like these. And I thought it'd be kind of fun if we could do like a quadranting, where like a quarter of, yeah, something like that. I think I want to have more of them though. So let's reduce the spacing between these flowers. That's a little more of what I was thinking. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to do like just a curving quarter, like, or for every quarter of the circle, we could do a different color. It's a nice look, I think. Go to the next color, make that 2 again, get the spacing done. This mod that I'm using, by the way, for the terraining and things, really, really nice. I would highly recommend it. I'll try to remember to put all of my mods in the description below. I think I'll maybe make a collection on Steam of all the mods that I'm using. I haven't done that yet. I really should. Okay, and then we have our last color here, and we'll make this one 2. And we'll come over here and we'll do our last quartering. Like so. And so that just adds a little bit of color and style to the circle. And then because we have these tall trees, we can come in here and put a few more bushes in. And I want to go for color. So we're going to do these royal bushes. And we're going to go for the candy bush. So yeah, where I used to live, so I did actually grow up in the States. I grew up in the Midwest. And one of the things that I did when I was growing up in high school was to work for a landscaper to make a little money. It was nothing amazing. Like, we weren't like super professional landscapers that did like high-end properties like that. It was a lot of grass cutting, bush trimming, things like that. But we did sometimes put in gardens, and we sometimes did do flower beds for customers. And I always enjoyed it immensely. And I always just found planting flowers, having a garden to be extraordinarily relaxing and fulfilling. In the Midwest, we grew up on some land, and we did have a vegetable garden, which I enjoyed working in. But I was more attracted to flowers, bushes, shrubbery, trees, that kind of thing. And I never did it professionally. It was always just a hobby. But the place where I live now is extraordinarily urban. I live in a very densely populated city. I live in a row house that is not the largest thing in the world. We do not have a yard. We don't have any space to grow anything. And I really miss being able to work on my green thumb, as it were. So hopefully someday I can move back to a place where that will be an option. But until then, City Skyline is what I will be enjoying. What kind of things do you guys do to relax and kind of take your mind off of the stresses and troubles of the day? For me, it's gaming. being able to sit down and play a game is probably the perfect way for me to unwind and get rid of stress. So having said that, I tend to not play too many competitive games just because I don't find those to be very relaxing. I don't think I handle the stress of the competitive scene very well. I used to play some games, the competitive, but not overly competitive, like World of Warships and stuff like that. But even that ended up getting my heart rate too high, and I just couldn't handle it too well. But I really enjoy cooperative games, so like Operation Tango, Orcs Must Die, Minecraft, things where you work together with other people is something that I enjoy quite a bit. And that is how I get rid of stress. I really enjoy playing those games with my daughter. I've got a young daughter in grade 1, and I just introduced her for the first time to Minecraft this past semester. And you might actually see on the channel, we started a little series together called Minecraft with a 6-year-old. We're going to have to change the title to that series to Minecraft with a 7-year-old because she just had her birthday recently. But that has surprised me with how much fun I've had playing Minecraft with my daughter. I have played a lot of Minecraft by myself, and in fact it was playing Minecraft that actually introduced me to City Skylines to begin with, because I used to play quite a bit and was part of some forums and some servers and things. And if you guys watch City Skylines, you guys all know who Biffa is, and how much of an impact Biffa has had on the City Skylines community. I mean, he's basically like the City Skyline poster child for everything. But some people may not know that he actually got his start doing Minecraft videos, and I would watch those in my younger days, and I got quite motivated to give it a go, and so that is what I did, and I started playing Minecraft quite a bit, and I still play it a lot. But being able to like share my love and my joy with my daughter has been just an incredibly eye-opening experience. Parents always say, like having kids is the best thing in the world. It's totally worth it. And people hear that and they're skeptical. They're like, oh, I don't know if kids are really going to be, worth it to have and stuff. And I have to say that I have really enjoyed having my kids. I can't think of anything else I'd rather do than be a dad. And now having a daughter who's a gamer that I get to play with, it is, shall we say, chef's kiss. Mwah! You can't see it, but I just did a chef's kiss. It is amazing, and I would highly recommend it to anybody if you're ready to have kids and you're mature enough to handle it and all that stuff. I mean, don't go having kids just to play games. That'd be silly. All right, this little roundabout is done with our fountain and our color. I might do some more to it later, but I think for now that's gonna work. And yeah, I just like adding color to things. So we've got our roundabout done with our fountain. We've got our cafeteria done. We have our gymnasium done. And the only thing left that we've unlocked is this study area. And this is actually a really big thing, and it requires a lot of space. And so just looking at where we have things, we could put it up here, but I feel like that's getting a little crowded. So what about this area down here? Because the outdoor study area, I feel like should be close to the study hall, just so students would be able to make use of both areas as they see fit. But to do this, we are going to have to flatten out more space if we want this to look right. So do we want to have it lower or higher? I'm thinking lower because we could bring a walking path throughout. So we're going to flatten this out. I'm going to grab a walking path, like the one that we already have. I'm going to bring a walking path, I think. Wouldn't have known I flattened that out, would you? And then we'll drop that study area in right here. Make sure I turn my prop entry anarchy off so that, there we go. This is going to need more detailing for certain, because that's kind of a bare asset. Let's get some benches and stuff put in. That does not look great at all. Where is my trade school bench? There we go. All right, tree and property anarchy back on. Let's go through and drop in more benches and things. So I think for this one, I'll just go ahead and do a little time lapse speed through my decoration of this area, and I will get back to you guys. All right, well, I am back with a decorated study area. I went for a little bit more of just a natural green vibe this time, not quite as much color, because I figured we're actually inside the campus. It should look a little more professional. So we went ahead and added a fence all the way around with some shrubberies placed strategically around, just to kind of give it a bit of a boundary feeling. Put some bushes in front to give it some depth. Went through and added a little bit more furniture, some benches, some more tables, got a statue in there to give it some height because this was a very flat build. Put in a little food stand for them to get snacks and things at as they're studying. And then this is one of the little tricks that I really like to use to make it look like there's kind of a planter around the base of a tree. All you have to do is select your plant, and as long as you have the anarchy turned on, you can just drop it in and it looks like it was planted around that area. So I am very happy with that. Well, thank you all for coming along as I did a little bit of decorating to the university, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really needed an opportunity just to sit down and relieve some stress and do a little bit of decorating and just calm myself down. I really enjoyed our chance to have a little chat, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to enjoy the video with me. That's all we're going to do today. I know we didn't accomplish quite as much, but I feel like it was more of the quality over the quantity this time around. So thank you all for viewing, and until next time, I'll see you around.